There's a reason mechanics quietly warn their friends away from certain 2016 BMWs. While some of these cars will cross 300,000 miles with nothing more than routine maintenance, others have bankrupted owners before the odometer hits 60,000. The difference isn't just luck, it's engineering decisions made in Munich that separate vehicles you can trust from vehicles that will drain your bank account one repair at a time. If you're considering a 2016 BMW right now, you need to understand something most salespeople won't tell you. The year 2016 sits at a crossroads in BMW's manufacturing timeline. Some models represent the last of proven, durable powertrains. Others mark the beginning of engineering experiments that didn't age well. And here's what matters most. The most reliable BMW on this list is not the one most people expect. Stay with me until the end, because that final revelation could save you from the biggest financial mistake you'll make this year. 2016 was a transition year for BMW. The company was phasing out older, simpler engine designs while introducing turbocharged technology across the lineup. They were also expanding their reliance on complex electronic systems and experimenting with cost-cutting measures in certain models. What this created was a split. Some 2016 BMWs inherited the proven durability of previous generations. Others became rolling experiments with failure points that only revealed themselves after the warranty expired. The models you're about to hear have one thing in common. They look identical to the reliable ones from the outside. Same badge, same luxury, same appeal. But underneath, they're engineered differently, and those differences will cost you. Let's start with the vehicles you should walk away from. The 2016 BMW X5 and X6 equipped with the N63 twin-turbocharged V8 engine. This is the one that looks perfect on the lot. Powerful, smooth, luxurious. But this engine has a documented history of catastrophic failure tied to its turbocharger design and oil consumption issues. The 2016 BMW 5 Series with the N20 turbocharged four-cylinder engine. This engine was BMW's attempt to meet fuel economy standards while maintaining performance. The execution failed. The N20 suffers from a fatal flaw in its timing chain design. The 2016 BMW 7 Series also deserves caution, but for different reasons. This generation introduced an overwhelming amount of electronic complexity. Gesture controls, advanced driver assistance, digital displays controlled by processors that haven't aged well. When these systems fail, and electronics always fail eventually, the diagnostic process alone costs hundreds of dollars. Repairs require specialized equipment and BMW-specific parts that aren't available aftermarket. Owners report electronic glitches that disable basic functions, climate control failures, infotainment system freezes, sensor malfunctions that trigger warning lights with no clear cause. You're not just buying a car, you're buying a subscription to a BMW service department. And unlike mechanical repairs you can sometimes delay, electronic failures often disable the vehicle completely. One more to avoid. The 2016 BMW 3 Series Gran Turismo. This model never found its audience, and there's a reason. It combined the worst aspects of a sedan and an SUV without excelling at either. But the real problem is the resale value collapse. These depreciated faster than almost any other BMW, which means previous owners bailed out early. When you see one for sale, ask yourself why someone let it go. The answer is usually expensive. These often came equipped with the same N20 engine mentioned earlier, compounding the reliability concerns. And because they sold poorly, finding parts becomes difficult. Mechanics are less familiar with their specific quirks. You're entering orphan vehicle territory, and that's never a good position as a used buyer. Now let's talk about the 2016 BMWs that actually deliver on the promise of German engineering. The 2016 BMW 3 Series with the N55 turbocharged inline-6 engine. This is the powertrain BMW should have put in everything. The N55 is a single-turbo design that proved itself over hundreds of thousands of miles in real-world conditions. It doesn't have the timing chain issues of the N20, it doesn't burn oil like the N63, it's not overcomplicated. What it offers is smooth, reliable power with maintenance requirements you can actually predict. Change the oil every 5,000 miles, replace the coolant and spark plugs on schedule, watch for minor oil leaks from the valve cover gasket around 100,000 miles, but that's a $600 fix, not a career-ending repair. Owners routinely report crossing 200,000 miles with nothing beyond normal wear items. Performance without the penalty. The transmission paired with this engine, the ZF 8-speed automatic, is equally proven. This combination represents BMW at its best, performance without the penalty. The 2016 X3 with the N55 engine as well, same powertrain reliability as the 3 Series but in SUV form. The X3 from this generation was still built before BMW's cost-cutting measures fully took hold. The suspension components are durable, the interior materials hold up better than newer models, and because the X3 appealed to practical buyers rather than status seekers, these were often better maintained. You'll find service records, you'll find owners who actually read the manual. The all-wheel drive system is mechanical and straightforward, not the complex electronic setups in newer BMWs. That means fewer failure points. When something does need replacement, parts are widely available and mechanics know these vehicles inside out. This is the luxury SUV that doesn't punish you for choosing luxury. The 2016 BMW 2 Series, specifically the 228 with the N20 engine. Wait, didn't we just warn against the N20? Yes, but here's the critical difference. The 2 Series is lighter and puts less stress on that engine. More importantly, by 2016, BMW had implemented several running changes to address the timing chain issues in the N20. Not every N20 is doomed. The ones in the 2 Series, built later in the production cycle, received updated guides and tensioners that significantly reduced failure rates. The 2 Series itself is also a simpler vehicle, fewer electronic systems to fail. Smaller dimensions mean less weight on suspension components, and because it was marketed as a driver's car rather than a status seeker, buyers who chose it tend to be enthusiasts who maintain them properly. You're inheriting a car from someone who cared, and that matters more than most people realize. The 2016 BMW 4 Series with the N55 engine rounds out the reliable options. Essentially a two-door 3 Series, it shares all the durability advantages of that platform. The styling has aged well, which protects resale value. The coupe and convertible versions were built in limited numbers compared to sedans and SUVs, which means they saw gentler use. Weekend cars, not daily commuters. Lower annual mileage, better care, less exposure to the conditions that accelerate wear. And because the 4 Series never was the volume seller, you're not competing with fleet buyers or rental car cast-offs flooding the used market. When you find a clean example, you're likely looking at a car that was someone's pride, not their utility vehicle. But here's the one you've been waiting for, the single most reliable 2016 BMW you can buy. The 2016 BMW 3 Series sedan, specifically the 328 with the N55 engine and rear-wheel drive. Not all-wheel drive, not the sport package with adaptive suspension, the base 328 with the proven 6-cylinder and the simplest configuration BMW offered that year. This is the vehicle mechanics eye for themselves. It has every advantage we've discussed: the N55 engine, the ZF 8-speed transmission, the mature platform with known solutions for every common issue, but it adds one more layer of reliability. Rear-wheel drive means one less differential to service, one less system to fail, fewer driveline components experiencing wear. The non-sport suspension uses conventional dampers instead of electronic adaptive systems, cheaper to replace when the time comes and less likely to fail prematurely. This combination has proven itself over millions of miles across the world. You'll find examples with 300,000 miles still running strong, not because they never needed repairs, but because the repairs they did need were predictable, affordable, and straightforward. A water pump at 90,000 miles, a thermostat at 120,000 miles, an alternator at 150,000 miles. These aren't BMW-specific nightmares. These are normal car problems with normal car solutions. That's what reliability actually means, not perfection, predictability. Luxury doesn't have to be a mistake if you buy the right one. The difference between a 2016 BMW that enhances your life and one that destroys your finances comes down to knowledge, the knowledge you now have. Most buyers don't learn these details until after they've signed the papers, after the problems start appearing, after the regret sets in. You're ahead of them now. If this kind of buyer protection information matters to you, subscribe, because the car industry counts on you not knowing what we just covered, and there are a lot more vehicles out there with secrets worth exposing.